Okay guys, so if you see this picture, it will remind you of what you will feel like when you are done with this comprehension and when you are done with seeing how easy and how comprehension can actually be done in Afrikaans. So for the classes that were with me, I've explained in more or less the same way, but this will also give you the answers to the questions of the comprehension. So bear with me. Okay, so I know that there's a right and a wrong way to deal with a comprehension. The right way, according to Afrikaans specialists and analysts and so on, is that you must first read your comprehension, get a message out of it, read the questions, and so on and so on. But in reality, we don't really care about the optimal way of doing a comprehension. We care about getting the best results in the end. So the way I do a comprehension is in the following way. You don't have to do it in the same way, but if it helps you, it's really a strategy to look at. So when I start a comprehension, I first read the questions just to get an idea of what to look for in the comprehension. So when a comprehension is set up, the answers of the comprehension is asked in order of the comprehension. So the first question's answer will probably be in the first paragraph, and so on and so on. So when you get the comprehension, it doesn't help you reading the whole comprehension, trying to figure out what is going on in the comprehension. More than likely, you are not going to be able to do that, because a lot of us struggle with reading, especially Afrikaans, and when you get to the end of the comprehension test, you've actually just wasted your time reading the passage because you have no idea what's going on. Instead of that, you first read the questions and then you go back to the comprehension and you start reading, and you will see the answers will pop up. Okay, so the first question is, what is a speedkop? So maybe at first glance you don't know what the meaning of the word is. So you freak out a little bit and you try and come up with some definition because you are too lazy to read it in the comprehension. Don't do that. Remember, we start with the question. So now you haven't wasted all the time reading through the comprehension. So if you start reading, you would see, yeah, they say something about speedkop. So as you start reading the comprehension, you already read the questions. You will see that there are certain things that stand out. You may be not going to remember all the questions that were asked, but you will remember some of them. And then you highlight those key points that are in the comprehension test. So if we now read, we remember, yeah, we read something about a speedkop. So maybe you don't know what the meaning of the word is, but the meaning of the word in the sentence might be able to help you. So it says, speedkoppe bespied jou lisensie en ligte en jy kan nie vinniger as 60 km/h ry met jou 50cc nie. Okay, so we know now that a licensie is a license. Okay, so it has something to do with a license. So even in this sentence, speedkoppe bespied jou lisensie. Okay, so that could be a possible answer. But if we read what the comprehension's instruction says, it says, lees die onderstaande artikel sorgvuldig deur en beantwoord telkens die vraag in volsinne, tensy anders aangedui. So in full sentences, unless it says something else. So we can say, speedkoppe bespied lisensies. So speedkoppe, why it is in little quotation marks, well, single quotation marks, is because that isn't really a word. The plural for speedkop isn't speedkoppe. Okay, that is the wrong plural, but for the play of the word in the piece, they write it like that. Okay, so in actual fact, a speedkop is a person who regulates the traffic. Okay, a persoon wat die verkeer reguleer. Okay, so verkeer is traffic, and Reguleer is regulate. Regulate the traffic. But you could have also said it's someone who bespied jou lisensie. Okay, so they look after your license. Speedkop is a traffic officer. So if we go through these things and there's a word that comes up that you didn't know of, write it down. Write the meaning of the word down, because somewhere along the line it might come up again and then you would have forgotten if you didn't write it down. Okay, next question says, waarom kan poegieryers petrolgeld eis as hulle brood en melk gaan koop? So now you've read through the whole thing. You remember, there was a question about petrolgeld en brood en melk. So now, waarom kan poegieryers petrolgeld eis as hulle brood en melk gaan koop? Okay, so this is something that is your own meaning, because what the piece says is you can go out and buy your mom bread and milk, and then it says why can you ask for petrol money when you do that? Okay, because it's a favor to your parents, so you can ask, oh mom and dad, I will go and do that, but please can you give me petrol money for it? Okay, so it's because it's a good deed, want hulle doen 'n goeie daad. Goeie daad is a good deed vir hulle ouers en die motorfietsry op petrol. Okay, so obviously if you go out to go buy bread and milk, you can ask for money, petrol money, because you've done a good deed for them. Okay, then the next question says, noem een voorbeeld wat poegieryers bo hul lopende vriende het. If you start reading, you remember, there was something about voordele. So you go and you highlight voordele. Okay. Jy kan die hele wêreld plat jaag teen 60 km/h. Jy vervoer jouself baie vinnig as jy vinniger as jou lopende vriende. So now they're all, why does this happen? Okay, and it is because why? So what the question says is, name one, so een voorbeeld. Remember, it says one. Don't give two. If you give two, we're going to mark it wrong because you're not following instructions. So if it asks for one, only give one. Noem een voordeel wat poegieryers bo hul lopende vriende het. So one advantage that bike riders have above their friends. And obviously it's so that they can reach their destination quicker. Hulle kan vinniger as hulle by hul bestemming aankom. Okay, that is pretty obvious. Okay, then the question is, wat is na jou mening die grootste nadeel van 'n boegie? Gee 'n rede vir jou antwoord. So if it says na jou mening, what does that mean? Okay, according to your opinion. Okay, so this question's answer. So it's not right to say that there's no wrong answer. Okay, because it says gee rede vir jou antwoord. So you can give your own meaning, but there must be a reason for your answer. And if your opinion and your reason don't correlate, then we can't mark it right. Okay, so here we have quite a few nadele. So you can read all of the nadele, all of the disadvantages, and then choose one and then say why. So the first one says, speedkoppe bespied jou lisensie en ligte en jy kan nie vinniger as 60 km ry nie. So you can't drive more than 60 kilometers an hour. So that is the biggest disadvantage for you. You can say something like, it'll take you forever to get to your destination, or you can't drive on a highway, something like that. Snelweer is ook vir jou taboe. So that's what I just said. Snelweer, for those of you who don't know, it comes from the word snelweg, and a snelweg is a highway. So if you didn't know that, please make a note on top there to say that it is a highway. Okay, so you can't drive on highways. So why is that a disadvantage? Obviously because you can't go anywhere. Some places you want to go, you have to take the highway. Almal wil altyd jou wiele gebruik. So everyone always wants to use your vehicle to get somewhere. Why is that a problem? Obviously because you need to pay money. You need to take out petrol money, and more than likely the people who want you to take it somewhere won't give you the petrol money. Jy kry dit reg om verkeersknope te veroorsaak. Okay, so because remember the motorcycle can only go 60 kilometers an hour. So you sometimes cause traffic because you can't go faster than that. Okay, so whatever you choose, as long as answer and your reason correlate with it. You can't say you think the biggest disadvantage is only being able to drive 60 kilometers an hour because that will mess up your hair. Okay, that's a very stupid example, but you see what I'm saying. Your answer and your reasoning must correlate with one another. If it doesn't, then you're once again not following instructions and we cannot mark it correctly. So don't lose marks for things that are that silly. Really try and do everything that you do correctly in the comprehension. Okay, next question says, na watter twee verkeersreëls wat op boegieryers betrekking het, word daar in die teks verwys. Okay, so twee verkeersreëls. Two rules of the road. Okay, so you must name two. If they ask for two, name two. If they ask for one, name one. So it says here, speedkoppe bespied jou lisensie en ligte en jy kan nie vinniger as 60 km/h. Okay, so speed, you can't go more than 60 kilometers, and it said bespied jou ligte. Okay. The fact that you must have a license is also one of the rules. But if you say spoed en lisensie, then you only say that. You can't say all three of them. Then it's going to be wrong. Because why? You're not following instructions. You need to follow instructions in a comprehension test. That is why these type of words, 1, 2, 3, eie woorde, those type of things are used. Because you need to follow instructions. Next question. Verduidelik waarom party boegieryers bidders en bewers genoem word. Okay, so now I read something about bidder and bewers. Was it? Yeah, no. Yeah, it is. Okay, soorte bestuurders. And the easiest thing to find in a piece of writing is words that start with a capital. So to find the words bidders and bewers in a comprehension test is very easy because they stand out. So if you quickly go through your comprehension test, find those words because that is what the question is about, and then you read that part. Kyk of jy die volgende 3 soorte herken. Daar beswaar baie min van hierdie soort ryers, die bidders en bewers, maar hulle ontwikkel gewoonlik na ongeluk. Jy weet presies wie hulle is, wat hulle kruie, want hulle kruie voor jou teen 20 km/h. Hulle wag tot die lig 3 keer groen word voordat hulle dit waag om te ry. En hulle ry reusagtige ompaaie om verkeersligte en kruisings te vermy. Okay, so back to the question. Verduidelik waarom party boegieryers bidders en bewers genoem word. Okay, so they give you quite a few reasons why these type of drivers are called bidders and bewers. Okay, so hulle ry baie stadig. Remember it said kruie voor jou. So if you kruie in front of someone else, you drive very slow. Omdat hulle bang is, hulle maak weer ongeluk. So they said in the piece, if you can remember, that these types of drivers develop after an accident. So after you've been in an accident, you are more cautious when driving again. And that is what these type of drivers are. It's people who are very cautious to drive. Okay. Waarom word die derde groep boegieryers arrogant genoem? Okay, remember what I said about words that start in a capital. So if you go and see, you say, okay, pedestrians, no, that's not what they're talking about. Yeah, you can spot another one, koeryers, no, that's not what they're talking about. Here it is. Okay, it's easy to spot those two. If you go and take any piece and you look for a name, something that starts in the capital letter, except the beginning of a sentence, obviously, then it's very easy to get. So it says, die arrogantes glo hulle sal nooit gevang word nie, en hulle pa hulle betaal hul petrol, versekering en boetes. Okay, so arrogant in English is arrogant. Okay, so why are these drivers called arrogant? Okay, so that first sentence tells you, hulle glo hulle sal nooit gevang word nie. They'll never be caught. Okay. Their dads pay with their petrol and their versekering. I can't think what that is in English now. Sorry, guys. And their traffic rules that they break. Okay, so that first sentence tells you why these drivers are called arrogant. And arrogant and arrogant is very much the same word. So if you know what the answer is in Afrikaans, in English, just translate it into Afrikaans. Very easy. Okay, bear with me guys, we are almost finished. Sê of die volgende stelling waar of onwaar is. Okay guys, so I just want to take a moment here. Here the question asks you to say if the sentence is waar of onwaar. If you are going to write waar and false, okay, waar will be marked correctly, but false will not. Once again, read your question and follow instructions. Yeah, you must use the word waar of onwaar. Haal uit die teks aan. What does that mean? You quote from the text. So when we quote, what do we use? Quotation marks. Always. Okay. So you must say if it's true or false. And then out of the piece, give a quote that motivates your answer. Okay, so it says, 'n boegiereier bly droog in die nat weer. So this is maybe something that you won't necessarily remember. So you go through it again, start reading, and yeah, you see, drogerig. Okay, so the sentence says, as jy op universiteit is, kan jy van klas na klas ry en jy kom drogerig by die huis aan. Drogerig, so think by yourself. When you are a motorcycle driver, you can get home dry. Is that true? No, because if it rains, you will be wet. So you know that it's onwaar. And drogerig means kind of dry. But if you are kind of dry, you are not dry. So that is your quotation that you will use there. En nou kom drogerig by die huis aangesit. Okay. Number 2. Bidders en bewers ry altyd reguit na hul bestemming toe. So once again, you know where they talk about bidders and bewers. You can quickly go there. Okay. So it says, jy weet presies wie hulle is, want hulle krye voor jou teen 20 km/h. Hulle wag tot die lig 3 keer groen word, voordat hulle dit waag om te ry. En hulle ry reusagtige ompaaie om die verkeersligte en kruisings te vermy. Okay, reusagtig is huge. Okay, reusagtig, a reus is a giant. Okay, for those of you who didn't know. reus is a giant. So reusachtig is like gigantic. Baie is, I don't think there's one word in English for it, but it's when you don't go straight to a place, you go completely around and around and turn you to get to the place where you want to be. So reusachtige onbaai. So once again, onwaar, because they don't go straight reguit to where they want to be. They go reusachtige ompaaie om verkeersligte en kruisings te vermy. Okay, so that is your quotation. Okay, watter twee opeenvolgende woorde? What does that mean? Two words that follow on each other. So this question asks for two words that follow each other. If you are going to give one word from paragraph 1 and one word from paragraph 4, it's going to be wrong. Two words that follow on each other. Wat wys dat sommige boegeryers altyd sonder geld is. Sonder geld is without. So you remember, yeah, they said something about not having money. Okay, so it says, almal wil altyd jou wiele gebruik. Jy is permanent platsak. Okay, permanent is permanent. Platsak means your pocket is flat, and if your pocket is flat, there's nothing in it. So, permanent platsak. It's a little saying that Afrikaans use. So if you didn't know this, make a little note. Permanent is permanent. Platsak is your pocket is flat, and that is a saying that is used to describe someone who doesn't have money. Okay, so if you use things like this in your essays, you'll get very high marks because it's a saying that you use. Okay, almost finished, guys. Just bear with me. Okay, now it says, haal een woord aan. How many words? One. And haal aan means what must it have? Quotation marks, because you are quoting one word. Aan wat aantoon dat die bidders en bewers baie stadig ry. Remember I said this to you guys. I said krye means moving slow. So if you didn't know this, guys, take from this comprehension. Remember that if someone krye voor jou, they're driving very slow in front of you. Okay, so remember al een woord aan. Sorry, I'm preaching to the choir. You must have quotation marks. So I'm going to put them here. Okay, you must have the quotation marks because it says haul on een woord. Sorry about that, guys, my bad. Okay, then last question. Kies elke keer die correcte antwoord. Okay, so you know you must choose the right answer. Guys, read your questions properly. It says, skryf slegs die nommer en letter neer. So are you going to write the word? No, only the number and the letter. Once again, comprehension is not just about the right answer, it's about following instructions. Okay. Die sin, jy kan die hele wêreld plat jaag teen 60 km/h. So you can drive the whole world at 60 kilometers an hour. So that is sarcasm. Okay. Obviously sarcasm if you say, oh, you can go everywhere at 60 kilometers an hour. Okay, obviously you can't go anywhere at 60 kilometers an hour. It is sarcastic. Then, as a mens mature voel jy. Mature means volwasse. In your previous comprehension, I explained to the B's and C's, and I'm pretty sure Mrs. van der Walt explained to the A's that volwassen means mature. So you see, this is two comprehension tests that have nothing to do with each other. The one Mrs. van der Walt chose and the one I chose, and they have the same words in them. So if you learn it from the one comprehension, take it for the next one. You don't just do a comprehension to do it, you do it to learn something. Okay, so mature is volwassen. Okay, as means petrolgeld moet hoes beteken dit. Okay, so this is one of those high order questions. You will always get one of these questions in the comprehension, and it's normally the last question in the comprehension test. That is a question that everyone might not know. Okay, it's something that the higher order learners will know, will get right, because a exam or cycle test is put up on a certain level. So there are easy questions, there are middle questions, and there are higher order questions. Higher order questions must be the least amount of questions in the paper. And this is one of those higher order questions. So it says jy moet petrolgeld hoes. It means, sorry guys, so I abruptly stopped there and then I noticed that I never put the answer to the question there, but that means you must take out money for petrol. Jy moet geld uithaal om vir petrol te betaal. Okay, so this last answer might seem a little bit abrupt because I had to add another slide to just add the voice to it, but that is what it means. So if you got this last one wrong, we will forgive you because, as I say, it is a higher order question. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for listening. If there is any questions regarding this comprehension test, please feel free to ask myself or Mrs. van der Walt, and both of us will be able to help you. But I'm pretty sure it is clear on what's going on with what. Cool, guys. Enjoy your day, and hopefully I see you soon. I miss all of you.